A rare matinee game to finish up our spring coverage here on BACB Sports. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brad Fetters, joined once again by my broadcast partner, Nick Buckler, as we get set to call the action today in boys varsity lacrosse, a matchup between our very own Birmingham Bulldogs and the Arbor Skyline Eagles. And Nick, we start out our coverage with the visitors from Ann Arbor, a team that comes in really clicking on all cylinders.
Yeah, they really are. They've won their last 5 games. They're led by their senior captain, Cam Newton. He has 57 goals on the year, which is really impressive.
It's an average of 4 goals per game. As for the Bulldogs, coming off a playoff victory against Ford, and really they come in playing red hot as well.
Yeah, they've won their last 7 straight games. So between the two teams, that's a combined 12 straight wins. Someone's got to come out on top here today.
Really an interesting clash of styles here. Birmingham wants to get the job done on defense. Skyline just lights up the scoreboard.
Yeah, they do, and obviously 57 goals by one guy. And then the defense of Birmingham, they've held 13 of 15 opponents to 8 goals or fewer this year. And if you know anything about lacrosse, that is a very impressive feat.
It should be a whale of a game here tonight. Can't wait to call the action. Birmingham Skyline coming up next right here on BACB Sports. Welcome back to Birmingham Home High School. Brad Fetters alongside Nick Buckler. Last regular season game for our Birmingham United Bulldogs as they take on the Ann Arbor Skyline Eagles. Bulldogs coming in with a record of 10-4. Skyline with a record of 14-3. Starting goalies first for Ann Arbor Skyline will be Kaylin Bonner. And for Birmingham United, it will be Jackson Tinsley. That's your last line of defense for both teams. Nearly set to go. The teams will line up at midfield. Skyline coming in with those dark navy blue jerseys and white shorts. Birmingham clad in all white with gold numerals and helmets. So a little bit of an interesting dynamic to the schedule. Birmingham coming off a really impressive 14-1 victory over Utica Ford. That was a playoff game. Here now their last home game technically for the regular season, even though that regional will be played at Seaholm. So last regular season game, tune up for the looming matchup with UAD Jesuit coming up in a couple days.
As we know, it's always going to be a tough one. And, you know, anytime you get into that tournament, things could get a little hairy depending. So you got to take care of business and the task at hand.
Will McBride going to take the opening draw here for Birmingham. He's a player to pay attention to. He'll wear number 8 in white. Obviously, we talked about Skyline. They're led by their leading scorer, Cam Newton. Isaac Lippert, and also a terrific score, 43 goals on the season. So really a nice 1-2 combination there when you look at Cam Newton and Isaac Lippert, who have combined for 100 goals this season.
Yeah, and something really impressive too about Lippert is, yeah, he's got 14 less goals, but he's only 1 point behind Newton overall, so he's really getting it done being a playmaker out there, getting a lot of assists.
Right on the doorstep and a goal, number 23, Johnny Cross, gives the Bulldogs the early 1-0 lead.
Really good ball movement there to get that into a high percentage area, going top right corner. And we're going to take another gander at it right here. Just wide open in front, him and the goalie, and it's never really an easy task for a goalie when it's one-on-one right out in front. Didn't take long.
A really nice cut to the front of the net. And Cross able to bury it, give the Bulldogs the early 1-0 lead. Players tangle up right in the center circle. Another face-off won and controlled by the Bulldogs. Pasco sailing up and over everything, tracked down. Cross has it now on this left-hand side, holds the stick in one hand. Birmingham changing on the fly. Brendan Lamb now into the game, has the ball, goes back with it. Finds James DeWald, who calls out the play. Bulldogs maintaining that possession. We talked at the very top of this broadcast how good they are defensively. and have really shut down some of the state's top teams. A big, tall task at hand here as they look to shut down Skyline.
And I think part of that good defense that we mentioned, being able to keep these opponents to 8 goals or less, is that good possession that they have on offense, because the other team can't score when you have the ball. So really early on, at least in the first minute or so, they've really controlled the possession the entire game thus far. Obviously just a minute and a half in, but that's a good start for them if they're going to try to keep that streak alive.
Wholesale changes for both teams as Cam Newton has checked into the game for Skyline. Didn't get the start here this morning. We can call it morning. A rare 11 o'clock start. Cam Newton wearing 3 in blue right at center field. So that runoff was won by Skyline, so they'll have their first possession of this game. They trail 1-0 early goings. 12-minute quarters here in the game of Varsity Lacrosse. It's going to be Jamie Newton. Gets the pick. Takes a couple whacks from one of those long sticks down there. Newton peels off. Finds Cam. Cam Newton at the 40-yard line. Goes to his left, far side of the field. So really the first opportunity now for Skyline to set up their offense.
They're being real patient, waiting to try to find an opening and then attack.
So we talked about Newton, and right on cue, he fired a laser. A nice save by Jackson Tinsley. So first shot of the game for Skyline, and the first save of the game for Tinsley. Tinsley going to be busy here. He's a good netminder.
Yeah, he made that save, and he wasn't quite sure where it was. It looks like it hit his stick and dropped right between his legs, and he was able to corral it before anything happened further.
Owen Cross, another name to pay attention to for Birmingham. He's coming off a 2-goal performance in their win over Ford. Really a dominating performance over Ford in the first round of the playoffs.
Yeah, okay. You're throwing some salt in the wound there. Come on.
Yeah, you are a Ford alum.
You know, we aren't very good at many sports, but that's recent. They were good back in my day, I swear to you.
They used to be up in the MAC Red in football.
They were back in my tenure.
It's a little bit of a Macomb-Oakland County crossover there in the first round of the regional playoffs.
Craig Krenzel, Ohio State national champion, went there. And what's funny to me, their football team wasn't even good when he was there. Best year was 5-4.
So another screen. Working around it's number 22, Isaac Lippert. Talked about him and his 43 goals. Jamie Newton and Kevin Wynn, they too have double digits. Both of those guys are in the 20s. Wynn with 25 goals, Jamie Newton with 24.
And they both are good with the helpers too, 40 points and 39 points respectively. So this team, they like to move the ball all over the place, and their playmakers are goal scorers as well.
They average over 12 goals per game. Got a whistle and a timeout called by Skyline. Head coach Tony Ketz will take it with 8:20 remaining in the opening quarter. A Birmingham Bulldog 1-0 lead after the goal by Johnny Cross. And Nick, this Birmingham team extremely young. They start 6 sophomores on varsity, and between the two, JV and varsity, they have 28 freshmen in the program and only 7 seniors. So the future looks really bright for a Birmingham team that's obviously on the rise under co-head coaches Nick Stenson and J.D. Hess.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they're off to this 10-4 start as it is right now, and with only 7 seniors. So insert some of those freshmen, sophomores turn juniors, and, you know, if they're doing this good now, imagine what the future holds. It's going to be impressive if they can stay healthy and keep trending in the right direction.
Take a couple more looks at this Johnny Cross goal that opened up the scoring for the Bulldogs and just went to the front of the net and beat the goalie high on that right-hand side. Really no shot for net keeper Kalen Bonner.
Yeah, that's your percentages as a goalie in that situation they don't favor you, that's for sure, because kind of hung out to dry by the D. But
so we break out of the timeout. Birmingham ball. They lead it 1-0. Owen Cross on the far side comes out to the perimeter with it. Will McBride just going to wing it around. Looking for that cutter to the front of the net. James DeWald turns it down. It's Owen Cross. Cross has it. Was looking for Will McBride, unable to connect on the pass, and it'll be Skyline ball after the turnover. There's Jamie Newton getting harassed by a couple Bulldogs in his defensive end. Gonna fire a quick pass over to Dylan Hughes. Hughes up to Newton on the give and go. Newton having troubles finding that ground ball. Unable to pick it up. Takes a big, strong check by number 41, Jerkovich, right in front of the Bulldog bench.
Gotta love a good physical game here, and it started quite early, and it's going to happen often as well in the game of lacrosse.
It's Will McBride now to start things off for the Bulldogs. Up ahead to Brendan Lamb.
Big hit again. Sorry to interrupt. He put a licking on him.
Far side, Van Hess behind the cage. Johnny Cross, the goal scorer, will occupy that spot for the Bulldogs. Brendan Lamb has it now, left-hand side. Gets double teamed. One of those long sticks coming in the form of number 21, J.J. Edwards. Edwards really applying the pressure. Strong check by Cam Newton. A rising shot off the stick of Will McBride. Sails up and over the cage. So Skyline dodging some bullets. The Bulldogs look really steady in their offensive end.
They do, really just setting up their offense, just getting the ball movement, bodies moving in every direction, taking hits to make plays, and that's really what team is all about there, just laying it on the line.
Van Hess changing directions, loses it out of his stick, able to retrace his footsteps, picks it up, goes to the front. McBride had the shot altered. Nice defensive play once again by J.J. Edwards. That's one reason why he's one of those assistant captains on that defensive end. McBride, nice job, able to get to that one. Johnny Cross will win the race to the ball, picks it up. 6 minutes left in the opening quarter. Brendan Lamb now puts on a little bit of a speed burst. Will dump it off to McBride. Gets it right back. Little two-man ball between Lamb and McBride. Owen Cross now on the right-hand side. Bulldogs so patient right now, just grinding this game out. They've had the majority of the scoring chances, have really possessed the ball for the majority of this opening quarter. McBride now. And there's that cutter. Pass knocked away. Unable to get anything on the shot, and here comes Skyline. Edwards up ahead. A little bit of a bump and another turnover. So Birmingham getting the job done on both ends of the field.
You know they're not going to rush down. They're going to slow it down, set it up, try to take another minute or so off this clock, and then try to cash in.
Cross scanning the field. Go up top with it. Lamb straight away. Makes his move, goes to the right-hand side. J.J. Edwards applying the pressure on defense. That pass sailing over the head of Owen Van Hess and over the end line where it will be Eagles ball.
Yeah, Edwards just got into his vision and kind of made the pass stretch a little bit long. Not as accurate as he had hoped, and result in Skyline ball back the other way.
Schuler coming up the left-hand side. Had it taken off his stick. So both long sticks doing the job on both sides. James DeWald looking to get it out of their defensive end. Goes over to Nick Lamb. Lamb on the left-hand side. Nudged off of it momentarily. Kind of just pitched it ahead. Good heads-up play there. Will McBride up top. James DeWalt splits a couple defenders. Loose ball. Who's going to get it? Covered momentarily by Skyline and finally brought out. Here comes Newton. We talked about how dangerous he is. And he beats his defender, Will McBride. I'll play on. Late flag coming out. It's going to go against Newton. Rifling one wide of the mark. So we'll wait for the call here. And it'll be a 1-minute slashing call against Cam Newton.
Just got him on his way by. Good enough to catch the eye of the officials. And they call it. We heard the crowd react instantly, and the flag came out to follow.
This will be a little 6-on-5 man advantage situation now for the Bulldogs. Already enjoying a 1-0 lead off the post. Johnny Cross just absolutely sent a bomb and clinked off the post. We'll get another look at it here. He wound up and absolutely let one rip.
Cross off the crossbar.
James DeWalt, he's going to rifle one home. So DeWalt with the power play goal gives BU a 2-0 lead. Perfect start to this game for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, taking that time off the clock, really setting up, waiting for high-quality scoring chances. They're not firing too many shots. They're making them high percentage shots, and then they cash in on the power play and a very quick, nice release to the lower left side by DeWalt, and it's 2-0 with 2:47 to go in the opening quarter.
This is absolutely the start that the Bulldogs wanted to get off to here against this high-powered Skyline squad.
Yeah, they definitely want to keep possession and not let Skyline set up their offense because they're lethal when they do such.
Skyline finally able to win a face-off and a turnover there. So nothing going right so far for Skyline. Credit the Bulldogs defensively. Looking for that cross right there and coming up empty. 2:20 left, first quarter of play. So glad you decided to tune us in. Our last broadcast of the spring schedule. Brad Fetters alongside Nick Buckler for BACB Sports. Jamie Newton. Over to Cam. Cam Newton nearly 6 points per game. If you add up his goals and his assists, just a terrific playmaker for Skyline. Win. Over to Jamie Newton. He's looking to go behind the cage. Good defense. Jack Curran there for BU. Sets the screen. Newton's going to work around it. Getting pushed all the way near that end line. Long sticks, applying the pressure. A little bit of a rising shot. Jackson Tinsley right there once again to make the save. So Tinsley hasn't really been pressed into too much action here, but when called upon, he's made a couple nice saves.
Yeah, it was a good shot there. Looked like he tried to skip it and get it back under the bar, and Tinsley was there and said, I don't think so.
1 minute now remaining in the first quarter. Brendan Lamb over to McBride. McBride, one of those senior captains along with Tyler Firestone. Firestone out for the season after injuring his knee during tryouts. That was a big blow, but he's still providing some of that senior leadership on the doorstep again. It's McBride with the helper from Johnny Cross.
Birmingham goal, number 6, Cole Sutton.
They're going to give Sutton the goal.
3, Johnny Cross.
And it was indeed Sutton. Thought it might have been McBride that snuck in, but it was Cole Sutton. Sutton coming off a hat trick performance in their win against Ford. So number 6, Cole Sutton with the goal. Johnny Cross, he's been involved in quite a number of these scoring plays for Birmingham. And a goal and now an assist. He has it now, picks up that ground ball. Finds Brendan Lamb. McBride late to the party, he joins it now. Looking to go right side, skips a shot in. Oh, and Van Hess right there to pick up the loose ball and deposits it in the net.
Yeah, and he flirting with the end of the quarter, 5.5 seconds to go, and he cashes one in low and improves this lead to 4-0. And those goals in the last 30 seconds of a quarter for the opponent are just always backbreakers right there, and really keeps the momentum going and kind of takes the air out of the opponent when they give that one up. So really good quick strike for Birmingham, and really a blow there for Skyline.
Owen Van Hees with the goal, the 4th different Bulldog to score here in the first quarter. Face-off infraction called against Birmingham, and that will do it for the opening quarter of play. All Bulldogs in the first, and after 12 minutes they lead it 4-0.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person, take a moment to consider how they will feel and let your heart be the key to making a difference. Because of you, someone's entire day, year, or even life can change.
In every heart, there's hope.
So we had a flag thrown, Nick, during the quarter break, and it appears that there's a illegal equipment issue, and it appeared that it was a butt end of the stick.
I couldn't tell if it looked like there was some tape or something hanging off, or a jagged edge. I couldn't tell. It looked like something was hanging off of the opposite end of that near the handle. So I don't know if something was loose on it or what, but I saw a flag go and he was holding a stick, and that's going to be an infraction. Reminds me of 2002 Red Wings Avalanche when they challenged Dominic Hasek's width of his stick, and it resulted in a power play for the Red Wings, and that was the famous goal when Patrick Waugh held the puck up and Shanahan buried it in, and then, you know, what happened in Game 7? We won 7-0 Stanley Cup. I'm excited all over again.
The call goes against Skyline. So it'll be a power play situation once again for BU. 1-for-1 already on the man advantage. Enjoying a 4-0 lead. Second quarter of play now. 25 seconds into the quarter. Really, you couldn't ask for much better of a quarter of play for the Bulldogs.
Yep, really set up their offense, did what they wanted to do. They battled through the defensive pressure from Skyline and were able to cash in 4 times.
We talked about how patient they were in that opening quarter. Two teams have traded ends. McBride catches, thought about it. Will instead defer. Right on the doorstep, a little ground shot. And it's going to be Owen Cross. 5-0 now. 2 for 2 on the power play. And this one's turning into a little bit of a rout.
Yeah, early on, Skyline's going to want to try to get their possession and maybe not really set up the offense, but try to strike quick, get their shooters out, and start trying to put balls on the net here and try to chip away at this deficit. Still a lot of time, obviously.
So Owen Cross able to get in front of those defenders. Stayed out of the crease. Scores their 5th goal of the game, 59 seconds into the second quarter.
Looks like the power play going to continue here.
Yeah, Wynn serving that penalty for the illegal stick. Tony Ketz and the Skyline Eagles going to have to dig in deep here now, trailing 5-0. So Wynn will now come out. Skyline giving up the 1 goal on the power play, looking for their first goal of this game. Isaac Lippert up top to Turner. Turner has it now. And we'll find Newton. Slow, deliberate pass. Caught by Tribble, goes right back to Cam Newton. Good spacing by the Bulldogs defensively. Jamie decides to start his attack and will have to peel off. Kevin Wynn now going over to the right-hand side, that far side of the field. Really nothing there offensively for Skyline.
Yeah, they were trying to go across on the doorstep for the bang-bang play, but Tinsley was able to stick the trapper out, as I'll call it, and intercept that pass across, and that would have been a good opportunity had it gotten through, but now Birmingham going back the other way.
Jack Curran to McBride, that stretch pass by Jackson Tinsley. Ground ball picked up. .05 remaining in the first half. 5-0 Bulldog lead. Here comes McBride now through the 5-hole. A terrific take that time by Will McBride.
And that one there was just really good to see the hit coming. He was getting hit low, and he's able to duck. And there was a Skyline defender coming high for him, and they ended up taking each other out. And the ball went through the 5-hole, right through the wickets, and now it's a 6-0 game.
McBride's first. 3:01 into the second quarter, and BU really getting offense from multiple different players, Nick. Number 8, Will McBride, now the 6th different Bulldog to score.
Yeah, 6th different. I said it because it was already in my head, and then you said it, and I didn't have anything else to say, so why not just repeat you?
And Tinsley coming up with another save. So Birmingham with a couple power play goals, 4 even strength goals. Skyline ripping one home. Number 3, Cam Newton. And you weren't going to keep him off the scoreboard.
No, and if I were a betting man, which I'm not, but if I were, I would say this. It's not going to be his last one of the game, too. He's got too good of a shot. He's able to get space. I think he's going to keep trying to get that team back into this one now. 6-1, 8:26 to go, quarter number 2.
We'll get another look at it, and that's just an all-individual effort there out of Cam Newton, able to split a couple defenders.
Just a quick release to that opposite low corner.
And really, these face-offs are becoming so important for the Bulldogs, and another win there for them, because now they can go into that kind of shutdown offensive stall mode And really, you limit Skyline's opportunities to score by just maintaining possession of the ball.
Yep. Good defense is a good offense, especially in the game of lacrosse when you can just kind of chip that time off the clock and just kind of pass the ball and get a guy streak into the net and able to cash in, which they've done 6 different times.
Talked about that 7-game winning streak for Birmingham. So impressive. Little sidewinding shot off the stick of Van Hees.
Skyline player, a little banged up here, slow to get up. Can't quite tell who that is just yet.
Kobe Clemens, number 10. Curled up down there. It looks pretty serious.
Yeah, he tried to get up and then kind of stumbled back down. It looks like I don't know if he's
Bill Watson going to take a look
his head
at him.
and his right leg, left leg.
So with the injury timeout on the field, 7:35 remaining in the second quarter of play. We'll take a quick break here on BACB Sports.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
So there's a look at number 10, Kobe Clemens, coming off the field for Ann Arbor Skyline. He wasn't able to put any pressure on that left ankle, Nick, and that's a big blow there for Skyline as he's helped off the field.
Yeah, I didn't really get to see it, but we'll get a chance here. It might have been a left knee, inside of his knee or ankle. It was definitely accidental contact there. As I think it was Van Hees coming through after ripping that shot, just kind of clipped him as he was looking the other way, just on the inside of that left knee, and he tried to get up, took a couple steps, and then able to put 0 pressure. So hopefully he's able to shake that off and can move forward.
It almost looked like knee-on-knee contact.
Because Van Hees was kind of stymied for a moment, and then he was able to get up and walk off. But unfortunately for Clemens, he was not.
So Clemens has taken a seat on the bench. They're going to apply some ice to the injury. BU ball now, ripping a shot. Did that go in? It sure did. Number 44, James DeWald.
Well, now they finally have a repeat offender today, so now still 6 different goal scorers, but DeWald now cashing in for the 2nd time today. And I think we're going to get ourselves a timeout here by Skyline, try to regather their thoughts, try to coach on the fly here and see if they can get some more possessions here and set up their offense and get it going a different way.
Keelan Bonner thought he made the initial save, but it was able to sneak across the goal line. Second goal of the game for midfielder James DeWald. And we talked about that 7-game winning streak for Birmingham, and really it's been in convincing fashion. They beat Utica Ford 14-1 and had some big wins over both North Farmington and Davison.
Yeah, 12-1 and 13-4. That's no mathematician, but that's 25-5. They've outscored their opponents. Kind of looks like what the Tigers are going through right now, except in the other way. They're putting the hurting on their opponents, and well, we know what the Tigers are doing, unfortunately. So we'll leave that at that.
All their victories have been blowout victories. They are perfect here at home. Not suffered a loss on their home turf all season. There are 4 lone losses: Rochester, Adams, Clarkston, Midland, and Lake Orion, all happening on the road, including a 1-goal loss to Rochester Adams. We'll get a look back now here at some of the Birmingham goals, and everything on the doorstep. Lots of cuts, lots of screens, and it's been a thing of beauty thus far for the Bulldogs.
Really looks like a well-oiled machine, if you will. And the thing about it, there's still a lot of time left to have 2.5 full quarters coming at you.
It's a tough regional for Birmingham. They will take on UAD Jesuit, who won in convincing style over Sterling Heights Stevenson in the first round of regionals.
About that Brother Rice game, it was
Called after 3 quarters against Detroit Cass Tech. Cass Tech first-year program.
And how about the welcome to Lacrosse? We're going to make you not even finish. Yikes.
Well, Brother Rice, perennial powers in the sport of lacrosse.
We'll see if they can be tamed here in this region.
They will take on Grosse Pointe South, who beat up on Troy Athens. So really none of the first round games were close.
Big save there.
Bonner, long rebound, corralled, and he goes up with the stick again. That high rising shot from Owen Cross. Back-to-back big saves.
Yeah. That's what they need to get trending back in the right direction is starts on the back end, get a couple big saves, and see if they can come back down. They're going to need a turnover or another save here.
Just peppering them with shots now. And there's a terrific cut to the front over the crossbar. Taking a little bit of a shot as well.
They're really moving that ball around now, starting to find some cuts, find some holes, and yikes.
That was Cole Sutton. Nearly able to tuck that one in under the crossbar. Just winding up and releasing an absolute laser off the stick of Will McBride. His second goal of the quarter extends that BU lead now to 8-1.
Yeah, they were really feeling it on that possession, and you could kind of get the feeling it was only going to be a matter of time there as they're really buzzing around that net, and McBride really, a laser is right, a missile into that top corner. Really no chance there for Bonner as he just really kind of fell down like, what do I got to do? That one was pretty.
The most goals Skyline has given up this season is 15. That was to Celine. BU right on that pace, Nick.
Yeah, we're just over halfway gone in the second quarter, so they're over the pace. They might be able to sneak in if they stay on attack, but you might see them peel off a little bit, but doesn't look like it yet. They're still buzzing down there.
And Arbor Skyline opening up in the fall of 2008. Purpose was to relieve some of the overcrowding at both Huron and Pioneer. Skyline making that trek over to Birmingham. Big collision, jarring the ball loose. Brendan Lamb was the Bulldog involved. Four goals in each of the quarters so far for Birmingham. Off the post, long rebound. McBride unable to gather it. Comes all the way out to midfield. McBride takes a shot from behind. Temper starting to flare just a bit. Blake Turner was the Eagle and knocked down McBride. And now the two benches are also John a little bit.
It's like Firestone's trying to keep the peace sitting down at that table. He's telling his guys to kind of back off a little bit, stay cool over there.
Yeah, Firestone, quite the leader. It's really a shame that he went down with that injury in the preseason. Firestone, as you may recall, was also a terrific wrestler. Coach told me here at Seaholm. Bounce shot. There's that runoff, and everybody reaches out with their sticks. You ought to be the the closest player to the ball as it sails out of bounds. They will say Eagle ball.
I could just picture myself being like so slow and out of shape, like 10 people back reaching. Hey, that was me.
Yeah,
But
stretching out for the finish line, right?
That's what I do best.
Jerkovic hammering down there, applying that stick pressure. Cam Newton been held relatively quiet, but he's going to pick up the assist there as he found Gavin Tribble. So goal and assist now for Newton.
It's up to 82 points now on the season here, 3 and 12 to go in quarter number 2.
So that's what Skyline's going to need, some quick offense, and Newton able to break that play out and cross-field pass to Gavin Tribble. That might have even caught Jackson Tinsley off guard just a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he realized someone was over there. It was just a long, perfectly placed pass, and Tribble was right on the doorstep.
So another face-off infraction will give the ball to Skyline. It will be Newton. Newton and Lippert on that far side of the field. It's Lippert with the ball. Sun trying to peek its way through this overcast sky. Kind of chilly here in Birmingham.
Ooh.
Newton.
He's whack. Like the. Jeez.
Logan
Good contact
Pascal.
there.
Long stick mid. Skyline going to change. Schuler comes out. Two and a half minutes remaining. First half of play. Bulldogs over the Eagles, 8-2.
Looks like we got the sun peeking out here for the first time here on a Saturday now afternoon. I think. Nope, not yet. Jumped the gun. Still morning.
Rare 11 o'clock start for us here. So accustomed to calling games under the lights. A little bit of a cross check, a couple whacks there. Newton finally takes a little bit of a spill.
Oh,
and a little bit after the whistle as well. Why not?
Yeah, he didn't like that. Newton's not arguing at all. He might have something to say, but he knows. He might be getting a couple, but the cross check for sure.
Brendan Lamb was the Bulldog that took the abuse, and it'll be Cam Newton who's going to have to take a knee in the penalty area. Get another look here. There's the cross check. Another one.
Couple whacks.
You know you're going to get called for the first. You might as well apply the second,
yeah,
right?
Get your money's worth. That's what I always say. I don't. I've never said it, but I just did. So there, I have it in stone.
Another man advantage here for the Bulldogs. 2 for 2 already on the power play.
And you know that DeWald's going to want to unload another one right there from the top and try to bury a hat trick, but he doesn't have to.
It's going to be Owen Cross instead. His second goal of the quarter.
And his second power play goal of the quarter as well.
So the Bulldogs now a perfect 3 for 3 on the man advantage. Lead back up to 7. Second time in the game that they've enjoyed a 7-goal lead as we get another look at that Owen Cross goal. Able to beat Bonner High. Minute 40 left in the second quarter. We talked about at the very top of the broadcast that 13 of their 15 opponents have been held to 8 goals or less, speaking of the Birmingham defense. And you talk about 3 of their 5 toughest opponents. You got Adams, Lake Orion, and Bloomfield. Really, all top 20 programs have all been held under 8 goals. And we talked about the importance of defense to the Bulldogs' efforts here today, but really, it's been their offense.
It has been their offense. They've really spread the love, and, you know, in turn, that's turned into a good defensive performance as well, like we've been mentioning all broadcasts. But, yeah, they're definitely getting it done on both ends of the ball. But like you mentioned, this offense is looking like a well-oiled machine, like I mentioned early on in that first quarter. And they're going to continue to just go right back to work here with a minute left in the second quarter. And right as I say that, they turn it over. Skyline on the attack.
And it's Newton, and they have the Bulldogs beat. And that shot by Isaac Lippert missed everything.
I think that one's out on Covington.
I think you're right. That was uncorked. They beat the Bulldogs. Bulldogs were out of sorts there. So dodging a big bullet is Birmingham. Looking to come up with this loose ball. Jamie Newton edged off the ball, and another big save by Tinsley. Tinsley's made 3 really big saves in this game.
Yeah, this could be a different game if those go in. I mean, 9-5, still a very close game in Lacrosse, just a couple shots away, but it's a big difference from 9-2 and 9-5. He's stood tall in between the pipes.
So we'll see here if Birmingham wants to hold for one final shot. 15 seconds left on the big board, and they're going to take a timeout. Going to set up their offense. Why not? With 12 seconds remaining in the second quarter, 5 goals here in the second quarter of play has really opened this game up as the Bulldogs now enjoy a 9-2 lead.
You know they're going to try to hit double digits here with 12.2 to go on this last possession, but who do you try to get the ball to in this situation? You got a lot of hot hands out there if you want to go to Wald or if you want to go Cross. I mean, there's the list goes on.
Yeah, Will McBride's been really good here, your senior captain. You mentioned Owen Cross, as well as James DeWald. Both of those guys have a couple goals.
And obviously Johnny Cross might be a guy who you get the ball to and try to spread it around, as he's such a good playmaker. He also cashed in on the first goal of the game, just 31 seconds in. So he might be a guy to look for. I mean, really, you could give it to anybody. All these guys are looking really good here on this Saturday morning.
His coaching staff has come in and really changed the culture. Stenson, Hess, Masterson, Reynolds, and Twome coming over from Troy.
You mentioned Reynolds. He double dips. He is also a JV coach, so he's able to kind of evaluate and develop the younger guys and kind of put his word into the ear of Stetson.
Stetson at the helm. You might also notice that JV head coach has a familiar name, and Coach Jim DeWald, the head football coach here at Seaholm as well. So, first half in the books, all Birmingham. They lead at 9-2. Nick Buckler, your thoughts on the first half of play?
It really just a dominating performance for Birmingham. They've really just looked, like I've said it 3 times already, a well-oiled machine, a force to be reckoned with. And, you know, we knew both of these teams had a combined 12 wins in a row. 7, obviously, for your Birmingham team, 5 the other way around. So both of these teams coming and playing really well. We knew one team had to come out on top, but so far so good for Birmingham.
We'll take a quick break here on BACB Sports, but when we come back, the second half of play from Seaholm High School.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Welcome back to Birmingham C-Home, nearly set for the second half of play here between Birmingham and Arbor Skyline. Brad Fetters alongside Nick Buckler. And Nick, big first half offensively for Birmingham.
Yeah, we touched on it a little bit there at the end of the half, and 9 goals on the board for Birmingham, including 3 for 3 on the power play. So we're getting to see some of these again. Just really impressive performance thus far.
Kalen Bonner really no shot in net for Skyline. I mean, a majority of those goals, Will McBride getting involved offensively. Johnny Cross had a goal. DeWald was able to find the back of the net. So really offense from a lot of different guys up and down this roster.
Yeah, 6 different goal scorers, a couple guys with 2 on there as you mentioned, but really just good at spreading the wealth here. We're getting set to get underway here as we are in the second half.
Looking live now, second half of play, 5 seconds in, and another face-off draw win and a huge cross check. Poundby flags aplenty come out.
Looked like he got him up near the neck area. He was just trying to lay a hit, and I think it looked worse than it might have been. But nonetheless, he's going to think about what he did there. I think that's Isaac Lippert who laid the lick on him.
So referee's going to come together and talk this one over. There's the official call from the referee. Cross check by Isaac Lippert. We'll put Skyline down a man. Get another look at it. Yeah, that was awfully high.
Yeah, near the neck or the chin area. Talk about wearing one on the chin. That's what it means right there. Physical play starts just as it left off late in that first half.
I wouldn't be shocked at all to see more of that play. Some frustration begins to set in. So BU going right back to the offense. Enjoying that 7-goal lead, a perfect 3 for 3 on the power play. DeWald thought about it. We know he's got a cannon from deep. And he thought about unleashing one, but instead will pass off. BU very deliberate on their offensive end. They will turn down shots looking for something perfect. McBride has it now. Looking to work it inside. Nothing available, so they'll go right back out. And DeWald, a little bit of a off-speed shot. I don't think he got all of that one. And that might actually have fooled Bonner.
And that's his second power play goal of the game, and that's a hat trick for DeWald as well.
Yep, 3rd goal of the game. Scored a goal apiece in the first and second. 3rd goal now here in the 3rd. And 4 for 4 on the power play.
It's his second power play tally, as we mentioned. And the guys who've scored on the power play, Owen Cross has 2, and now DeWald has 2. So 2 power play goal scores in 4 power play goals. So that'll really make you think about how you're going to play defense. If you know you're going to take a penalty there for an infraction, you know that probably automatically results in a goal when you're playing against Birmingham, especially here today. So we see a little contact, but play on, they say.
This Birmingham squad, going to be really difficult to come back on them because of their style of play. They finally gained the offensive zone. We'll turn it over. That ball got batted out of the air by Robbie White. Was able to find Jamie Newton. Long stick back there now for Skyline. Looking for a cross that time. Isaac Lippert, closest Eagle to the ball. Turnover to Birmingham. Birmingham brings in a couple fresh bodies, including Owen Cross. Bulldogs looking to pick their spots. Here comes the cutter. Leg save. Bonner went down, protected that goal post. Caden DeWald now, cradling it, right hand. Makes contact with J.J. Edwards. Edwards slamming him with the stick. Ooh, another post. Second or third of the game. Goal post is a goalie's best friend.
Yeah, that one you could hear up here with the ping sound, like you do in hockey. Does that hit the metal part itself?
Iron kind that time for Bonner. He has it now, looking to stretch things out, perhaps. Get involved here. Takes a few more steps out. We'll just go over to his left-hand side. And they're going to call offside. Skyline had too many players in the offensive end.
It's an automatic call there. No question about it.
Can only have 6 offensive players on your side of the midfield. Mark. James DeWald. A 10th goal of the game. He's got a hat trick. Goes across the field with it. They peel back. McBride is looking for a pass, had it deflected in front. Loose ball, picked up momentarily, and now controlled by Skyline. Break it out. Cam Newton unable to connect with that pass.
Ooh.
So Skyline really unable to get anything going offensively. Pitched forward, gets it right back on the give and go. Johnny Cross has it, reaches up and over top of his defender. It's Robbie White defensively out there for Skyline.
Missed that top corner, far side, flung it almost to the baseball field. Temperatures are trying to break into the 60s. They're slithering around that 58 mark. The sun's trying to creep through these thick clouds here, so wind's dying down a little bit. We might see some sun. Might have to break out the bathing suit soon, Brad.
Yeah, supposedly it's supposed to be in the 80s tomorrow. I'll believe it when I see it. Oh boy, Will McBride. He now has a hat trick, so you got 2 Bulldogs with 3 goals apiece.
Yeah, he wants into the fun as well, picking up his 3rd. Really good nonchalant fling of it to the far corner. And it's 11-2 with 6:59 to go, quarter 3. A lot of time still to play on a Saturday.
Bulldogs really pouring it on now. We talked about Skyline really just not giving up this many goals. Talked about the highest goal total they've given up is 15. Highest goal total on the season for Birmingham is 15. They've done that on 3 separate occasions against Troy, Rochester, and Lance Cruz North. So number 8, Will McBride, gives them the 11-2 lead, looking to add on a 12th goal here perhaps. Get a little bit closer to that highest goal total. Inadvertent pass sails over the head of goalie Bonner. Tracked down by Skyline, looking to break out. That's a dangerous pass. You talk about a wide receiver going over the middle. That's the way that pass looked. And it leads to a turnover, Bulldog ball once again. And Hees has it. Puts on the brakes. Jabbed with it. Dylan Hughes using that long stick as a lance. Caden DeWald cradles it. Takes a nudge. Gets the ball over to McBride. McBride just slows things down. Finds a trailing teammate in the form of Jack Trench. Trench nudged off the ball, keeps possession. Late flag comes out. A delayed penalty call coming up against Skyline. Race for the ball will not really matter As Skyline picks it up, and the penalty will now be called by our official.
Didn't look like much, but it looked like he might have accidentally caught him in the face area, and I think that's an automatic call when they get him up there. So it was just a little pushing and shoving, caught him up high.
So 1 minute penalty.
Skyline penalty, number 6. Zach Schuler.
Schuler will serve the penalty for the Eagles, and the Bulldogs go right back on this power play. That's been perfect today, 4 for 4. DeWald, the man at the point position, called his name twice on the power play. Owen Cross, 2 power play tallies as well. There's DeWald up top. He's the Bulldog you're really going to want to pay attention to. 44 in white. They're going to want to get him the ball eventually. And it's the other DeWald, Caden DeWald, with the power play goal.
He said, I'm not going to be the only brother that gets a power play goal. I got to get in on this too, and he does. He goes short side with a quick release, and it's a 10-goal advantage.
5 power play goals on the afternoon. And the Bulldog lead has reached double digits. It is now 12-2 over Skyline.
Five penalty infractions have definitely hurt Skyline here today, and they've resulted in 5 goals. So really, I guess you could call them self-inflicted wounds there in that aspect.
If my memory is serving me correctly, I believe the Bulldogs have yet to take a penalty.
Yeah, I was just thinking that myself, and you beat me to it.
Skyline in those Columbia blue and white jerseys. Timeout called by Birmingham. 4:36 remaining in the third quarter of play. And now is a good time to remind our viewers, if you've missed any portion of this boys varsity lacrosse matchup, you can view it online, BloomfieldTWP.org or BirminghamAreaCableBoard.org. All of our programming, including every sporting event we've covered in the 2018-2019 school years, available online and on demand. Video on demand on the broadcast media portion of both websites. Scroll on down to BACB Sports. This Bulldogs team will also be featured in our Beyond the Box Score program. We're able to talk to both captains Will McBride and Tyler Firestone, along with head coach Nick Stenson. Kind of got their views on the upcoming season and kind of look back on last season as well.
It's always a good program you guys put together over there.
Appreciate that. Yeah, putting the finishing touches. I actually have a couple more teams to film this week. As you know, the weather just hasn't really been too great here in the state of Michigan.
No, not here.
Hard to believe, though, that another season is in the books.
It was a fun one. Really was. First full year.
For you?
It
yeah.
was. I
So
was
glad to bring you on this
happy
year to
to-
call the action.
Happy to be here, as always.
Had some highlight reel moments, haven't we?
We definitely have. Started early, our first call of the year back in August. Some soccer. We had a classic instantly. 3 goals in the last minute of play.
Boys soccer game between our two rival schools. Two rivals coming together to form one here this afternoon. This Birmingham United squad, consisting of players from both Seaholm and Groves. And you'll notice a lot of names from the football teams are on this lacrosse roster. And you talk to the guys and they say, it's not that big of a deal. But that hatred for each other in the fall has to spill over just a little bit to the spring.
You would think these guys are competitive at every level, you know, whether it's on the field. I'm sure in the classroom, too. Well, you got a better GPA than me? Well, you're going to hear about that. Right? People do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what I always did.
Competitors. And we talked about only 7 seniors on this Birmingham roster, so the future extremely bright, bringing some of that consistency in the coaching staff as well. Loose ball, sticks banging away down there. We'll see who eventually comes away with this ground ball. As everybody's kind of firing one in and applying some pressure, taking a hit from behind, but staying with it. Eberline has it.
Looks like a lot of these guys aren't even playing the ball. They're just clearing bodies out of the way at this point.
A lot of new faces in the lineup now for Coach Stenson. McBride going to check in as Birmingham changes on the fly. And turnover. Here comes Skyline, and dangerous pass gets intercepted. Played back to goalie Jackson Tinsley, who's going to just hold on to it for a little bit. Finds Brendan Lamb fresh off the bench. Lamb springs forward, takes a couple of hits right at midfield, able to get through those 2 Skyline defenders.
Looks like you hit the left trigger on the Xbox there with that juke.
Nice deflection out in front as that ball pinballed around the goalie crease. Kalen Bonner finally able to make the save. BU just a little step ahead of Skyline, and here comes a delayed call now against the Bulldogs. Look out, Cam Newton puts on the brakes. And Newton gonna wrap around the goal and come out on that far side. Gets a little bit of a screen from Jamie Newton. And has the ball knocked off his stick, and finally the penalty call will come against the Bulldogs.
Looks like a slash here. We'll get the official word.
And that will indeed be the call against Caden DeWald.
Looked like the far side official is the one who made the call, but it looked like the infraction, at least I thought I saw one right in front of the Skyline bench. It might have been a little whack to the side of the head. But nonetheless, it was picked up, and now we're going to see Skyline's first power play of the game with 1:40 to go in the third quarter.
Trailing by 10 goals. We'll see if they can cut into that lead. Well, 6-on-5 action now for the Eagles. Newton just holds on to it. Gets it right back. Looking to go up top to Kilbride. Just nothing available to him right now. Double deuces. Isaac Lippert had it. Gets it right back. Lippert on this near side right wing. Point man Cam Newton now. So he flips spots with Kilbride. That rising shot up and over the crossbar. Player closest to the ball was Jamie Newton, so they'll play on, and now we'll have a timeout called by Skyline with 1:01 remaining in the third quarter.
The last shot, make sure your car's all right. That one flying away is out there. Might be near the lot. Hopefully you're good.
Somebody's got to go track that ball down. Might have deflected off the concession stand.
Not it. I'm not going. Too comfy up here. Comfy confines of the press box, as always.
Scoring slowed down just a bit. Bulldogs have only netted 3 here in the third. Skyline has been held off the scoreboard, so they were blanked in the first quarter and so far have been blanked here in the third. A terrific defensive effort out of the Bulldogs here, holding that high-powered Skyline offense to just 2 goals on the morning/afternoon.
Yeah, as we mentioned that impressive stat early on, Birmingham has held 13 of 15 opponents to 8 goals or fewer, and they got 13 minutes and 1 second to try to do the same. I think they, knock on wood for them, should be all right, because they'd have to give up 7 to break that 8 plateau.
So for a team that averages 12 goals per game, to only have 2 through roughly 3 quarters of play, a little bit of a surprise, I would say, Nick.
Yeah, it's really, they've been stymied, if you will. Like we've been, sound like a broken record, a good defense is that good offense here out on this field, because they've just really slowed down the game, had their own tempo, and kind of just passed the ball around, waited for cuts, and really cashed in on all their opportunities.
Cam Newton and Gavin Tribble, the two goal scorers for Skyline. They still remain on the man advantage here. High pass knocked out from behind. Jerkovic has it, and we'll just go back to his goalie, Jackson Tinsley. Under a minute now remaining in the third quarter to the penalty against Caden DeWald has officially been killed off, so the team's back to even strength. McBride, already 3 goals in this game. Finds Cole Sutton. Sutton has a goal back in the first quarter, as this offensive attack for the Bulldogs really has been spread around. Multiple different scores have factored in. A lot of guys getting some rotation in. Stenson really has emptied the bench for Birmingham as the quarter horn will sound. 3 quarters have been played, and it has been all Birmingham. They lead it 12-2. We'll take a break here on BACB Sports, but when we come back, the 4th and final quarter of play. That'll be next right here on BACB Sports.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
Why do you ask that, kiddo?
Welcome back one final time. Birmingham Seaholm High School. Brad Fetters alongside Nick Buckler for BACB Sports. 4th quarter of play, 12 minutes up on the big board, and Birmingham out to a 12-2 lead over Ann Arbor Skyline. And McBride wins another face-off, and Bulldogs really been solid in every facet of the game here, and perfect on the power play. Have won the majority of the draws, and really time of possession, it's been all Bulldogs.
Yeah, we don't have the official stat, but we got to believe it's, I would say, at least 80-20 here for percentage of time of possession.
That's how you slow down a good offense. You just hold on to the ball and cash in on your opportunities, and it's kind of been the storyline for this game.
Big save there to keep this where it's at.
Keelan Bonner's been busy in net, able to make the save, covers it up. Finds a teammate. Dangerous pass once again right over the middle. Skyline has done that a couple times. Able to break out of it this time. Cam Newton. Kilbride has it now, far side. Changes directions. Goes behind the net. Wynn has it. He's looking for Jamie Newton, finds him. Stick-to-stick pass. Jamie Newton up top to Cam. Once again, the Bulldogs defensively really good spacing. Haven't allowed any of those cuts or screens to happen from the Eagles. Newton just really has nowhere to operate right now, so he'll defer to Wynn. Cam Newton and those 58 goals has his pass intercepted. So really just steady as we go. The Bulldogs come up with the interception.
Were you thinking of the song when you said that? Steady as she goes? Because that popped through my head just now. Not going to lie to you.
On the doorstep, pass deflected, loose in front, just shoveled ahead. by Will McBride, his 4th goal of the game. There's that Cole Sutton. You're going to give Sutton the goal. Sutton that shoveled it ahead. Second time I've tried to give McBride credit for a Sutton goal. Those 8 and 6 on the jersey look awfully similar. So it'll be Sutton's 2nd goal of the game.
Just ball was pinballing around down there, and Sutton was Johnny on the spot, or you want to say Cole on the spot.
So Birmingham getting really close to that season high for goals.
I think we're going to have a flag down on the play here.
So taking another look here at the Cole Sutton goal. Just kind of flipped it ahead. I don't even know if he knew for certain he scored.
And he's just like, yep, another day at the office.
So Drikovic will take a seat for 1 minute. Cross-checking penalty. So man advantage now for Skyline. 0 for 1 on the power play. Crossfield pass. Looking for something along that end line. They go back out to Cam Newton. Newton looking for a low shot. Tinsley goes down. Kind of like a butterfly style save that time.
Dropped down, corralled it, as you mentioned, in the butterfly position. If that's what we're going to call it that. We just did.
Sidearmed ahead. Lamb flipped it forward.
And just flung his long stick out there and said, I'm going to be a little closer. We're going to keep possession.
I gotta keep flipping over to my JV roster as Coach Stenson continues to put some of those higher numbers into the game. Saw 78 come off the bench. It's Jimmy Holcomb. Firestone's going to count down the penalty, which will free Jerkovic back into the action. He gets involved defensively. 8:25 left. The scoreboard has stopped. They play on. Jamie Newton to Cam Newton. Jerkovic applying the defensive pressure. Newton puts him in the spin cycle. Finally goes off to his right. Logan Pascal there as well. Newton's just going to hold on to it. Finally finds Blake Turner up top. Over to Lippert. Lippert cut off, had to shoot, and sails one wide. Stifling defense right now by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Skyline just trying to set it up, move around, and try to get guys cutting, but right now they're just kind of sticking around the perimeter.
Isaac Lippert. Shot over top of the cage. Finn Kilbride puts on the Jets. Switch spots with Jamie Newton. Kilbride changes directions, looking to pass. Can't find anything that he likes. Cycling through. Newton and Newton. Jamie will have to track that one down. Picks it up. Man-on-man defense by Curran. Up top, Cam Newton. Off a shin.
That doesn't feel good, I promise you that.
Especially on a chilly afternoon.
Especially if it caught you right on that bone. Got to just keep running. Now he's coming out of the game, so I'd keep running on the sideline. It's when you stop moving, stay still, that's when it tightens up on you.
Logan Pasquio with the block shot. He's got the flow. It's coming out of the back of the helmet there. Logan Flaherty now, another delayed call coming up against Skyline. Really emptied the bench now. Another opportunity on the doorstep and cashing in this time. James Haler.
I had to switch over to the JV roster to find him, and there he is. So he gets into the action, tallying the 14th goal of the game.
So they'll pick up the flag after the goal for Birmingham. 2 touchdowns up on the board now.
Yeah, they've kicked those extra points, so a couple touchdowns to a safety.
14-2, all Bulldogs.
One
So
more.
we'll have a running clock now once the whistle blows.
One more goal will tie the season high for Birmingham, and will also match the season high allowed for Skyline.
And Birmingham's really got to be feeling good now at where they are in terms of momentum. So this will be 8 wins in a row and sets up a big game against UAD here on their home field. They've been perfect on the season, friendly confines of Birmingham Seaholm High School, and it'll be a big matchup for them. They know UD's high-powered. Put 17 goals up on Sterling Heights Stevenson, but Birmingham has to feel really good about their offense. They've dictated play here, seemingly all game long.
Really a good test to kind of evaluate and see where they're at.
Timeout called by Skyline with 5:33 left in regulation. Birmingham got out to the early 6-0 lead. Led 9-2 at halftime and have scored all 5 second half goals.
You mentioned big game coming up. Are you going to pull the Wojo big game out, though? I want to hear you say it. Big game.
Regional semifinals. Mentioned Brother Rice and Grosse Pointe South, the other half of the bracket.
Yeah, definitely not an easy bracket, so to speak. But why would it be easy? It's the playoffs.
Always seems like Brother Rice is in one of the districts with our Birmingham schools. Talk about that baseball district as well. Birmingham Groves winning it a couple years ago over Brother Rice. This Birmingham team has moved into the top 15 in the state. Quite the accomplishment for such a young team. Jackson Tinsley, the goaltender, only a sophomore. You look at guys like Nick Lamb, he's a junior. Ben Simmons, a sophomore. Got a change in goalies as well. Owen Clare out there, JV goalie. So here comes Skyline, a little bit of a breakout, a little bit of a advantage, and Cam Newton, shot misses.
You can hear the extra commotion. That's when the younger JV guys get in there, and the leaders on the team and the varsity team like to root them on extra hard when they're in making plays. It's always good to see guys who normally wouldn't be there getting into the action.
Newton gets knocked down from behind, late flag from about midfield.
I don't know about that one.
So penalty gets called against Ryan Higgins, long sticker number 88. Roster's getting a little bit of a workout, flipping it back and forth between the varsity roster and the JV roster.
Doing a good wrist finger workout here. It's like you're typing. Getting a little cardio on a Saturday afternoon.
So Skyline, so you have to score a power play goal. Newton, rebound, Eagle goal.
Looks like it was
Kevin
Wynn, yeah.
So the Newton blast was stopped, and Wynn able to pick up the loose ball rebound and deposits it into the net for the third Skyline goal of the afternoon. 3:40 remaining in the fourth quarter. That's Wynn's 26th goal of the season. Get another look at it here. Newton's shot was blocked and just kind of trickled out, and Wynn able to tuck it over the shoulder of backup goalie Owen Clear. Here's some of that chatter being picked up by our BACB Sports microphone, making everybody notice that the shooter was a lefty. That left-handed shot was blocked. Clark coming out of his goalie position now to get involved a little bit offensively, and he's going to have to hurry up and get back into his crease. Taking a little bit of a shot there. And Jaden Rockend. Newton going the other way now. Popping up off the bench. Zach Schuler going to get involved. Left wing side. Takes a couple steps back now. And he will win the race for that loose ball. Bounds off the brick wall here at Seaholm, and he'll pick it up, and then we play on. Kilbride puts the juke on. Finds Cam Newton. Newton cradles it in his right hand. Curls around a defender. Newton fired one low. He has really had some good scoring chances and just hasn't been able to find it. Schuler right on the doorstep. Easy feed and goal. They don't get much easier than that. That's Kevin Wynn. Back-to-back goals. Deficit now down to 10, 14-4, 2:22 remaining, fourth quarter.
Couple goals for him here in the last few.
26 and 27 on the season, so padding the stat sheet a little bit here in the closing minutes of this game. Coach Nick Stenson has emptied the bench, giving some of the JV guys a little bit of a run here in the last regular season game. Ooh, and it's sandwiched there.
Sticks flying everywhere, bodies flying everywhere.
Logan Flaherty taking the brunt of that. And he pops right back up, and he's going to apply some pressure now on J.J. Edwards, one of the assistant captains for Skyline, along with Dylan Hughes. Cam Newton, the captain, has it. Sidewinding shot. Hit Wynn in the back.
I think he was expecting that either. He kind of hit him and spun around.
Knocked off the ball. Couple players come together. Nobody's quite sure where it is. And Isaac Lippard comes out of the scrum with it. Newton bounces one in. His second goal of the game. 3 quick Skyline goals.
Now that's his 59th of the year. See, I told you if I was a gambling man earlier.
Yeah, you knew he was going to score more than one.
Still under his season average of 4 per game.
Birmingham appears they're not going to get to that magic number of 15, which would have been a season high for goals. Skyline really just kind of picked things up here and got a nice little run in the fourth quarter.
Got the last 3.
Nick Nowacki takes a spill. Easy call for the officials to make. Tripping call. So back to the man advantage.
Maybe
85 seconds left.
Maybe they will sneak into that 15 spot here. Try to stay perfect on the advantage.
I don't see how much pressure they want to apply here on the power play. Up 9 goals, 14-5. Clock continues to run down. Official timeout, far side of the field. Looks like we might have an equipment issue, perhaps. J.J. Edwards fixing his helmet. Jack Trench. Pass sails wide, tracked down.
1 minute remaining in the fourth period.
You can hear the PA announcer announce 1 minute left. So hat trick for Cole Sutton on the power play.
Birmingham goal number 6, Cole Sutton.
So 3 different Bulldogs with hat tricks, and they will indeed get to that magic number of 15. So Sutton, McBride, and James DeWald all with hat tricks, 9 of the 15 Birmingham goals.
Sutton now with that late goal, he's making a bid to be our BACB Sports Player of the Game.
6 power play goals, a perfect 6 for 6 here for Birmingham.
6 for 6, 3 goals scored by number 6.
It's really a solid team effort out of Birmingham here, and a really nice way to close out the regular season. And it'll be number 19, Kevin Wynn. He too will score a hat trick.
Hat tricks around. It's like Oprah, you get a hat trick.
Everybody
you
gets
get
a hat trick.
Everyone gets a hat trick. I didn't bring a hat though. Or else
Can't throw it out onto the
Can't
field.
do it. I probably wouldn't be able to make it that far. Get caught in a jet stream or something. Not because, you know, my arm strength wouldn't be there, obviously. Come on now. I tear a rotator cuff in the process, though.
So Skyline continuing to pour it on here in the fourth. 4 goals in the fourth and final period. See if Birmingham just wants to hold here. 15-6 lead. Nice cut. Skyline looking to break out. And that more than likely will do it. And in fact, it will, as the buzzer will sound to end the game. A really impressive victory this afternoon by Birmingham. Final score 15-6. They got it going offensively, that's for sure, but really clamped down defensively. A total team effort and really a dominating performance.
Yeah, they really kind of emptied the bench. A good job by Coach Stenson in the second half to really get some guys who normally wouldn't see action here late in the year in there. Some of the JV guys, JV goalie, you know, really just spreading the love because this game probably could have been a little bit more had he kept his starters in there, but really good all-around performance by Birmingham.
We'll take one final break here on BACB Sports, but when we come back, our post-game coverage, including an interview with our player of the game.
They gave me Vicodin after my knee surgery. I didn't know it would be this addictive. I didn't know how far I'd go to get more.
Opioid dependence can happen after just 5 days. Know the truth, spread the truth.
Welcome back to Birmingham Seaholm High School. Final score, Birmingham 15, Ann Arbor Skyline 6. Really a total team effort here. 3 players scoring hat tricks for the Bulldogs, including our player of the game, number 8, senior captain Will McBride, who's now alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Buckler.
All right, Brad, thank you. Down here with BACB Sports player of the game, senior captain number 8, Will McBride. Will, you had a hat trick out there today, and really a dominating performance from beginning to end for you guys against a team who had won 5 games coming in.
Yeah, we came in, we were prepared for the worst. We were prepared for them to be, to come out harder. But, we came out playing our game. I told everyone to do their job, and that's what we did, and we got the win.
You guys really didn't waste any time. They're really a high-powered offense, averaging about 12 goals a game. You guys really held them in check. Talk about how your offense kind of led to good defense.
Well, right from the beginning, we got the quick goal. And anything that's, something like that just kills an offense. Killed their momentum, gave us momentum, and then we just kept rolling. And, I think they were a little startled by our offense there.
You guys had 3 players get hat tricks. You were one of them, obviously, and you were a perfect 6 for 6 on the power play. Talk about how you're able to just kind of cycle and set up your game.
It's just we have great coaching staff. We have a great plan, playbook. So we just did our jobs and put it together and scored some goals.
Well, I appreciate your time. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you very much.
Yep. Brad, back up to you.
All right, thank you so much to senior captain and player of the game, Will McBride. And for Nick Buckler, terrific job in that player of the game interview. For Birmingham, it's 8 straight victories as they improve their record now to 12-4. Ann Arbor Skyline drops to 14-4, and our Birmingham Bulldogs will now get set to take on UAD Jesuit in the regional semifinal this week. We wish the Bulldogs nothing but success in their run and what will hopefully be a regional championship. So hat tricks out of Cole Sutton, Will McBride, and James DeWald. A 15-6 victory for Birmingham over Ann Arbor Skyline. For my broadcast partner, Nick Buckler, and our director tonight, Steve Rhoda, I'm Brad Fetter saying goodbye. We'll see you in the fall right here on BACB Sports.